PS, I would like to tell all my viewers here that all this video which I'm shooting is completely unscripted, and all the videos which are going to be shooted in the future for the Abhishek Jain channel are going to be unscripted, and no PS script is going to be produced, and it will all come out of heart. So if you can see, like when I'm talking, there are a lot of awkward pauses and I don't know what to say because I'm actually thinking, because I haven't rehearsed or anything, and I'm just coming up with writing one topic and just going on speaking about that particular topic in detail. So please bear with my process and stuff, and it's like completely unscripted and it's completely, you can call it a live video. So yeah. Hello everyone, this is Abhishek Jain and I welcome you all to the second part of my China trip video. In the part 1, I talked about how I got the invitation, how was my plane experience, how was the view of the hotel, how was the event, and how I survived over there, and lots of other stuff which I spoke about my experience over there, but I did not speak about what did I learn from it. So in this video, I'll be telling all the stuff which I learned in my 24-day trip. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first thing which I learned, in my China trip, in my China experience, was that these type of events are bullshit. Trust me, yes, it is bullshit, and as I've said in my first part itself, that these type of events are more bullshit because you cannot actually, transform an idea into a startup in just 15 days. That's what this event promised me, that they will teach you how does one proposes an idea, works on it and develops it into a full stage startup in just 15 days, which includes the VC funding, which includes the proposal of idea, the arousal of idea, which includes pitching to the customers, which also includes developing the product, which also includes marketing, everything. You cannot just do in 15 days, can you? I don't think so. Any superpower can do these type of stuff in just 15 days. If you don't sleep, if you don't bake, if you don't do anything like that, then probably you can do. And probably you can do only the VC people, you can get the VC funding in just the first round, and you don't have to go again and again, or you just don't have to get the rejections from the investors. If you just get everything in a plate, then probably you can do this in 15 days. But practically speaking, I don't think so. It is possible in 15 days. But that's what this event promised me. And since I knew about this very earlier, why did I attend this event? The simple answer is the network connections. Okay, before coming on that, I will tell you the major 3 things which you can take away from these type of events. The first is, of course, you get a certificate after attending these type of events, and you get a proof that you have attended this event that can be added to your resume and can make you look good. Okay. And the second thing is, you can post images of your favorite speakers speaking over there, and you might be flaunting on your social media that hashtag lifestyle, hashtag laptop work, hashtag dreams come true, and hashtag all that bullshit stuff. You can do that and people will go gaga over you, and people will call you sir, and please teach me this, please teach me that. So you can get these type of attention as well if you attend these type of events. And the third and the most important, and I'm being serious over here, is the network connections, of course. The main reason why I attend these type of events is I can get a lot of connections over there, and I can build my network all around the globe. And this was a global event, and people across the globe came and attended this event. So that was the golden opportunity for me to go and attend this event, to have full-fledged connections. And I indeed made a lot of great connections, and with some, I'm even working on some projects as well, and those projects are earning money as well. So you see the power of events. You might not do anything in that event, but the connections you make on that event is all that matters. So that's the main takeaway you can take away from all these type of events. And since I knew all these stuff, and it's not something I learned, but I want to share with you guys, because most of you youngsters fall to this prey of going to lots of events and wasting your money and just bullshitting and learning nothing and just coming. You're learning the basics, which you can learn from Google itself, but you're wasting your energy, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting everything. The most illogical thing which you guys do is you don't actually go and network. You feel shy in networking. You just don't go and shake hands with some stranger in that event. You just be to yourself, or you just be with your friend which you brought to the event, because you don't want to feel alone in that. You just go and have a coffee and that's it. You come back home. Why did you just go and attend the event? As simple as that, guys. That's the basic thing. If you attend these type of events, make sure you network with every person sitting in that conference. Trust me, it will be very helpful for you in your future endeavors. The second most important thing which I learned in my 24-day China trip was the food, the value of food. Trust me, when you are in a country where there is no such thing as vegetarian food, you understand my plight. You understand what I'm talking about, because I'm a Jain guy, and I'm pure vegetarian, and finding vegetarian food in Shenzhen was a nightmare to me. And there were a few vegetarian restaurants over there, but that too, they serve veg and non-veg together, and we normally don't eat in places where both are served. But yeah, unfortunately I even had, because there was no other go, and the food there was too expensive. You don't want to spend 1,500 rupees every day on just 2 rotis and 1 butter paneer masala. Do you? I mean, come on, that doesn't even make sense. Like, जितना पैसा मैं लेके आया हूँ उतना से मैं खाने में बर्बाद करूँगा तो मतलब क्या है? So that's the thing, right? So basically, I learned I learned that the food is most precious, and from then on, I pledged myself that I wouldn't waste any food, and I won't take the food for granted, because initially I used to do that when I was in India, any part of India. There was food that I can get anywhere, vegetarian food, and delicious vegetarian food. And so that's the reason why I didn't realize the value of food at that time. But after I went through this phase, I realized a lot value of the food, especially Indian food, because trust me, you will realize it if you face a situation like that, and then you will remember what I said. So yeah. The third thing which I learned from my 24-day China trip is it's not I learned, but I became mature over the period of 24 days. I became a lot mature. Like, if I see myself before the China trip, I can see a lot of child behavior in me, and a person who can trust others very easily, like blind trust. If you talk sweetly with me, I would do anything for you. So I was like that kind of person before going to China. Though I was not that good, but yeah, I was kind of immature, before that. But after that, after going to China, when I see myself, there are a lot of changes in me. And thanks to this China trip, because in those 24 days, I learned a lot of things. I actually had this self-realization, temporary at least, but I had this self-realization. I used to go for a walk around like 1 or 2 a.m. in midnight, and in the streets, in the neighborhood, and there were a lot of people out there, of course, even at those time, a lot of girls were there, and they were not scared of roaming around at 2 a.m. in the city. So yeah, leave that thing, but I used to just go around for a walk around 2, or just sit there like in the terrace of my apartment like at 5 a.m. and see the sun rise and stuff. So I did a lot of things. I became one with the nature. I loved the surroundings. I loved the whole process of things. I learned a lot of things about myself. I learned a lot of things about the human nature. I learned a lot of things about friendship. I learned how to stay away from toxic and negative people, and that's one thing which I would like to say is friends give surprises and strangers give surprises too. And if you are genius enough, you would crack this out. So yeah, in my 24-day tenure, I learned how to stay away from toxic people, and I learned how not to trust anyone blindly, and the whole concept of friendship, the whole concept of best friends and all that stuff. I learned a lot of things out there, and I really thank God for giving me an opportunity to go China, to experience all those things, and learn about people who might be sweet enough to talk to you, who might do all the good things with you. But when time comes, they show that real face and they stab you so hard that you cannot actually recover that this was the guy. So yeah, anyway, I don't want to talk on this about a lot. So let's just end over here. The fourth thing which I learned, in my 24-day China trip is the importance of parents. Trust me, in those 24 days, I got to know their value in my life, and because that was the first time I was away from them for such a long period of time, and I couldn't actually imagine a day without them. I just realized that, and that was fine. Because I used to talk to them every day, in video calling and stuff. But I think sometimes, what if my parents were dead, and I would have no one to go and share something which I wanted to, like, for example, if I was in China and I was away from them for like long, but I can again come back and hug my parents and talk with them. But what if they are dead? I cannot even talk with them after coming back. So that was the thing which I actually realized being in China, and that was very changing for me. I realized that true value, and I respect them even more. And to all the youngsters out there, please guys, spend time with your parents, talk with them, show your love and show your affection, because that's what it really matters. And show them before it's too long. And it's really fine. You go out with your friends, hang out with your friends, but please do all make time for your parents as well, and talk with them, please, because they are the ones who are genuinely happy for your success, or happy for your work, or happy for whatever you do. None of your friends are. Believe me in this, and please go and hug your parents after watching this video, and spend more time with them, because you'll realize that once they are gone, and that will be too late to realize. So do it now. The fifth and the most important thing which I learned from my China trip was learning to be independent. Trust me, that was the best thing which I learned in the whole China trip, and that served as very fruitful for me, because those 24 days I was living alone, and there was no one, literally no one to actually take, have my back if I fall. And that was like completely in a living alone lifestyle over there, because I had the absolute freedom. I can go wherever I want, I can do whatever I want, and in those 24 days I did n number of things, and those things actually made me realize that I can live alone, and how I cannot be dependent on others, and how I can cook my food, and how I can manage my own expenses, and how I can manage myself with very minimal resources. And this China trip, this 24 China trip, was the main core reason, the thing which I learned, and was the main core reason why I shifted to Bangalore, because those 24 days were so blissful, and I can survive those 24 days. That means I can survive anywhere, like that too, in a country where nothing is available. I mean, of course, everything is available, but nothing is available for me, like vegetarian food, the language barrier, and you don't know how to communicate, and it's all a new environment to you. But still, if you're able to survive in those atmosphere and environment, probably you can survive in any part of India. So that's the core reason why I shifted to Bangalore, because many of them were asking. So that was the reason that I shifted to Bangalore, to live an independent lifestyle, to learn more about myself. And even in China, I learned a lot about myself. I, unlocked some of my hidden potentials. I came to know about it, because truly I didn't even knew. And of course, I would like to thank the event as well, because that made me realize some of my hidden talents, and it was good. So yeah, living alone has its own perks, but of course it has very negative disadvantages which can affect your health as well, because you live alone the whole day and you don't have anyone to talk to except your laptop and your mobile phone. Then it's a pretty tough situation. It's pretty bad for your health as well as your mental health. So I won't recommend anyone to live alone, but for a long period of time. But of course, do live alone for a short period of time, and probably that's the best part, the best phase of your life you can ever live, because you are able to learn a lot of new things, when you are living alone, because you are able to unlock your potential, go ahead in the game, jump to a second level of your life, and what not you can do. So that's the main thing, if you want to live alone, so that you can learn a lot of things if you live alone. There are certain things you cannot do when you live in a family environment, and it's not like you get all the freedom in the family environment. Of course, you have to be there at some particular time. Of course, your parents might be giving some freedom to you, but the freedom is limited. They also care for you. But when you live alone, you actually take care of your own self, because there's no one else taking care of you. You are the sole person responsible for yourself. You met with an accident, you have to get up, you have to go to hospital alone. Your father is not going to come and take you. So that's how, And if you pass this, very tough stage of your life, probably you can do anything in your life. You can do wonders. You can survive effectively in minimal resources. So yeah, so that's a major thing which I learned in China. Like how to be alone, and how not to be dependent on others, and how I can live by my own rules. So that was a very great learning experience for me. I lived all the phases of my life in that 24-day China trip. Like being rich, being poor, being like an average citizen over there, and being like a stranger from some other land coming to a different world. So I've lived all my phases, in just 24 days. Being poor is, I'll tell you what made me poor over there. So I went there, and some guy told me that dollars. If you take dollars over there, then you could actually survive. You can because at most of the places in China, dollars are accepted. Like if you're having something in restaurant, then you can pay that in dollars, not in the local currency. So I thought, okay, fine. So I took like around $800 or something with me, and 800 yuans, and that was my biggest mistake. Okay, that was my biggest mistake. So as soon as I came into my room, I have to pay the advance to my landlady. So all the 800 yuan is gone in just a jiffy. Trust me, just a jiffy. So it has gone in her account, and I was just left with $800. That's it. Like I would be having some change, like 10 or 15 yuan. That's it, and not much more than that. So I literally was having no money to actually survive over there, because people did not accept the the United States currency. They wanted the local currency. So I went and inquired the nearby banks, and they didn't actually convert my dollars into local currency. They made me travel from one bank to another, and another to another, and I'm like, I felt like, am I in India or something like that? Because they are just making me travel everywhere. Until I find and ban just opposite to the Shenzhen University, and they finally converted my dollars into the local currency, and they took a hefty commission. Okay, but that's fine. But I got some money out there, and it was good. And like this was done after 4 or 5 days. After I was in China. So imagine my situation. Thank God I had some roommates, so I didn't have to worry about it. They paid for some of my stuff. But it was like a complete nightmare, trust me. And I used to walk like for kilometers, because I had no money at that time, and I used to walk kilometers just to exchange that money. Come on, man, that shit was very bad, trust me. And being rich, of course, after I got this money, I converted like shitloads of dollars into yuans, and there was like so many yuans coming out for just $100, and I'm like, wow, this is cool, man, I'm the richest person over here. And that actually made me feel very rich out there. And of course, a stranger in a different country, because I was behaving as if I'm a local, and I'm just staring at all the citizens over there, and they were not even giving a shit about me. They were not even looking at me. I'm like, okay, fine. I just thought that, okay, this only happens in India, where we give awkward stares to the foreigners. So yeah, so this was the thing, and this was one of the funniest part, of course, because there were times when I had no money, and then there were times when I had lots of money, and yeah, that was it. So these were some of the major things which I learned in my 24-day China trip. I'm sure that I would have learned a lot other things, but I actually don't remember it, because it's been like 5 months since I went to China, and it's like 5 months later I'm uploading and I'm making this video. So it is that like some memories and some learnings are just there somewhere in my memory, but I'm not able to recollect it. Apologies for that. So these were some of the major things which I learned in my China trip. I compiled everything and I presented it in this video. Of course not everything, because because there are some things which are somewhere there in my memory and I could not actually remember it. But yeah, I have mentioned all my major learnings from my China trip in this video. So now I will be talking about my experiences to certain places I have visited in Shenzhen. So let's get started. So the first place which I have visited in Shenzhen, it's not in any chronological order of places I visited, but it's basically randomly I'm picking out places as I remember. The first place I visited in Shenzhen was Nanshan Mountain. That was the best place anyone could visit when they go to China. Of course, if you go to Shenzhen, do visit this place, because you'll find a mesmerizing view of the whole city once you reach the top. Of course, the climbing is kind of tough initially, but once you reach at the top level, at the final stage, you'd feel the sense of proudness or accomplishment, and you'd feel great to see the whole city covered with clouds, and it looked just like a playground. Like it was all small things, and it was so good. Of course, the climbing was tough, but it would be worth the climb. So if anyone goes to Shenzhen, do visit this place known as Nanshan Mountain. I have done some pictures of me going to that place, so you can actually have a look at it. So yeah. So the second place which I have visited was this Snow Kingdom. I don't actually remember the name, but it was kind of good one. If you follow me on my Instagram handle, then you would have seen my story or my post of me sliding in that some tub or something, sliding into that and coming. It was so freezing cold that I could not even open my mouth. But it was a very good experience, and it was worth the money as well as worth the time and worth the fun. So that was one of the good things in the Snow Kingdom. So yeah. And the third place where I visited, and was the most best and the frequent place I visited, was Wang Bay. So that was the best place you could ever visit if you go to Shenzhen, because and of course geeks like you and me, that would be the best place. And it's the electronic market of the Shenzhen, and you could find everything over there, right from your gadgets to headphones to spare parts of mobile phones and whatnot, pen drives, everything, and that too in an unbelievable price. You cannot actually believe that the prices of a pen drive would be such cheap enough for you to buy. I won't disclose any prices, but go there and experience that. And plus, I would like to say the fake market of Shenzhen. I went to a place where the guy actually packed an iPhone in front of me and sealed it with a US thing. And he actually made me an offer that without seal this is X amount and with seal this is Y amount. He actually made the iPhone in front of me with all the spare parts of remaining phone. Trust me, if you go there, it would be worth your while, because I have visited that place like 8 to 10 times when I was in Shenzhen for only for 24 days. So you can imagine the level of greatness that place had, because it actually attracted me every now and then. And there was also this one thing known as 3D printing technology. I actually witnessed that in front of my eyes. They actually made a food. Okay, like the real food. They actually made food and they actually gave it to people to eat. So that kind of technology is being developed in China, and it was the best place to visit in the whole Shenzhen. If you ever visit Shenzhen, please make sure that you make some time for Wang Bay. That's the best place you can ever visit. The fourth place which I visited to was Window of the World. And if you're in Shenzhen, don't you dare miss the Window of the World, because it contains all the attractions of the world in form of miniatures, like right from Taj Mahal to Eiffel Tower to pyramids, everything in one single place. and it took me one whole day to complete the whole area, because it was so big, and there were like some of the statues and some of the attractions which are not even known to us, and it was very great learning experience. And plus there were some of the events which were happening at the night, people dancing to the traditional dance, the traditional music, and there was even a fighting match, like a real fighting match with all the blood coming out and all that stuff. That was the thing. And we also witnessed fireworks. I don't know if they do that on regular basis, but we were lucky enough to actually witness the fireworks. Amazing, brilliant. And of course, the main thing, the beer festival. To all those beer lovers out there was a beer festival going on, and people could drink as many beer as they want, and they had to do some work. And it was a competition going on, and it was good. We actually enjoyed a lot, and people, it sounds like a fish market. People were actually going crazy and crazy. So Wind of the World was a very good experience. It took me the whole day, but it was worth the experience. The fifth thing which I went was to the Daffin Oil Painting Village. So this was a bit of orthodox place I visited, because as far as the normal Shenzhen is concerned, it was more technologically advanced city, and it was all good, neat and clean. But this place was completely opposite. It wasn't that technologically advanced, and it wasn't that clean. But it was clean, of course, but it wasn't that clean compared to the mainland of Shenzhen. So, but that gave me an old traditional look of how Shenzhen looked. Maybe they preserved the look or something. But that was a good place where there were a lot of painters sitting there, ready to paint your faces, for a very nominal rate. It was a good thing, and it wasn't any computerized or stuff. They were actually painting by their own hands, and like they would paint just in front of you. And they have already made some great paintings of some famous paintings, exact same replicas of Mona Lisa and stuff. So if you go to that, please visit Daffin Oil Painting Village. You'd be kind of lost if you be there, because there's lots of streets, and it would be very tough for you to find your way out. And yeah, it was but a good experience. There were some other places which I visited, like like shopping markets in like the Coco Park. It wasn't that good. It was like the normal regular mall which you find in India, so it wasn't that good. But there were some of the shopping markets in Laoji, and it was the greatest market ever. You can buy anything from there, right from handbags to toys to bags to whatever you want, glasses, anything, socks, clothes, anything. But the one thing which you have to make sure that your bargaining skills should be amazing. Okay, you can tell them a price and they would actually agree to it, but please make sure that the price is somewhat realistic. And if they tell 100 yuan, don't tell them 5 yuan or something. Of course, bring down to 50 or 40, and you will be ready to accept it. And these things make me wonder that even in 40 yuan, even in 400 rupees a handbag, they make a profit. So imagine the level of business going on there. Like even in 40 yuan, if they can make a profit, then it's amazing, right? Getting a pen drives and very cheap amount and still making profit. That's the best thing. That what makes me wonder that what's the cost? I mean, what's the cost price of all these stuff? So these are some of the things which left me wonder. And these are some of the places which I visited majorly. And of course, the event. Not many days I went to the event, but of course I went to some days, and it was good. And there were like a lot of great people out there. Even Joe Stretcher was there, the founder of BMF. I was very fortunate enough to meet him and have a conversation with him like for half an hour or something. And it was very good. It was a very great experience, and there was some of great mentors coming out there, many VC, like VC investors, angel investors, and whatnot. It was good. I made a huge network of connections. So these are the major places which I visited in Shenzhen, and of course, and I recommend you guys to visit it if you ever go to Shenzhen. So this is it, guys. We have come to our final segment of our video, where I'll be thanking you all guys for watching my video and staying till the end. It was like, thank you so much for watching the whole video. I would just like to conclude, by telling, by summarizing some things like. China trip was marvelous, amazing experience, and I'm really fortunate enough to experience a trip such like that, even for a longer duration and for alone. And in a different country where language is a barrier, and it was very thrilling, exciting, and nervous, anxiety, a lot of things which I learned over there. And the main thing which I learned was independency, and I still thank the China for it, because that's how I learned the art of being independent and not being dependent on others. Because I had to manage everything on my own, right from my expenses out there, spending my things and making my money, making sure my financial arrangements and my planning and making food and whatnot. Everything was great. So the whole China tip, if anyone tells me to sum up, I would just sum up in one word: marvelous. And seriously, I'm very lucky enough to witness this type of event. So that's it, guys. That's it from me. So thank you so much for watching my China experience and this part 2 video. I hope you like it. So this was the whole experience of my China trip. I tried my best to compile everything I could, whatever was in my heart. I tried my best to compile everything. There might be some other things. There might be some things which I forgot or something, but overall, I know that I have compiled almost everything. But yeah, so this is it, guys. Thank you so much again for watching.